Now to a major showdown at the Supreme Court over a public flagpole, a Christian flag, and the First Amendment. Tomorrow, the justices will take up a case from the city of Boston, where the founder of a summer camp is suing over officials' refusal to fly his flag at City Hall. It's a clash between the separation of church and state and free speech, creating some unlikely alliances. Here's ABC's Devin Dwyer.
At Camp Constitution,
attention to the colors,
reverence for the flag, and lessons on the nation's founding values.
Self-government means that you allow God to govern you from within.
An annual celebration of God and guns.
And I think it's just too important teaching these principles to the next generation.
For more than a decade, founder Hal Shurtleff has brought together campers young and old to pay homage to the words he says made America. And on Constitution Day in 2017, he planned a tribute outside Boston City Hall, applying for a permit to raise a flag on this flagpole open for use by private groups. But the city said no.
It's a public access flagpole. And when I got the initial rejection, I asked for an email or a letter. And they said separation of church and state, First Amendment.
Shurtleff says he wants to fly the Christian flag to honor the faith of the Founding Fathers. Designed in the late 1880s, the white banner with red Latin cross has been adopted by many American Protestant communities. City officials had approved 284 private flags over a dozen years, including flags to mark Juneteenth, LGBT Pride Month, and the area's immigrant communities. But Shurtleff's Christian flag was the first and only one they'd rejected.
It's kind of ludicrous to think flying a flag on a flagpole for maybe an hour or two will somehow get people to think, oh my goodness, look at the city of Boston is now endorsing the Protestant or the Christian faith.
Camp Constitution appealed all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, arguing they have a free speech right to fly their flag in a public space that they say is open to all. But the city of Boston disagrees, saying that flying the Christian flag would violate another constitutional provision, separation of church and state.
Well, this is an 83-foot tall flagpole in front of City Hall that's associated with the government. That's why this religious group wants to use it, is because it carries with it some government imprimatur. So we say the city can control that.
The city says it has a policy not to promote religion on its flagpoles.
The city, for its own speech, does not want to get into the issue of religion.
And in court documents, Boston's lawyers argue flag raisings were in connection with publicly recognized days of remembrance, and that the city had never flown a purely private flag on a random day. Supporters of the policy say it protects the city from unwanted association with divisive messages. And in this case, a flag that critics allege has been co-opted by hate groups.
What is it about this that's so problematic?
This Christian flag is associated with Christian nationalism. This is the same flag that was used during the January 6th insurrection. So this is really, akin to them trying to take over City Hall and saying, hey, this is a Christian place.
First off, I don't know of any white nationalists carrying Christian flags. It may have happened, but I don't know. But this flag simply represents Christianity. It was designed by a couple of Sunday school teachers, not exactly white supremacists.
The Supreme Court has limited the display of religious symbols by governments, but it has also said that censorship of ideas in public forums isn't allowed. The ACLU is siding with Camp Constitution.
If they can turn them into government speech outlets and to deny First Amendment claims, then the free speech rights of all of us will be greatly diminished. When the government opens its public property for private speakers, it has to treat everybody equally.
But is the city's flagpole truly a public forum? Boston insists it never intended for the flagpole to be used by anyone for any reason, telling the High Court that if it rules for Camp Constitution, the city may change its flag-raising program to take back control.
We're optimistic that they will rule in our favor and that we will be allowed to raise the flag, although I understand the city will most likely cancel its flag-raising events, so we'll see what happens.
A battle over a flagpole, faith, and the First Amendment that could potentially expand protections for religious expression and free speech in the public square.
And as that gentleman said, we will see what happens. Our thanks to Devin for that.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.